Can everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
There is a great deal for us to celebrate this evening, and we'd like to start off with our first celebration, and I'd like to introduce Dr. Alex Rivera to kick off our evening celebrations. Alex?
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. It's a great pleasure to recognize and honor people for their achievements. And tonight, we have a few honorees that are going to be going on here. But the first one is a colleague that's near and dear to me and near and dear to the people in this building. And so I'm going to invite two people up that are here on behalf of the New York Association of School Psychologists to join me. So Holly and Annie, is that across with me? So we're here to recognize Dr. Stacy Schwartz for work that she does, and I want to share with you some words that I put together that actually went towards her award. So, as principal of George A. Jackson, I have the fortunate pleasure of working alongside nearly 100 colleagues, 458 students, and hundreds of families. Within this group is Dr. Stacy Schwartz, who serves as our school psychologist. Dr. Schwartz is a consummate professional, as there is no task too large or too small for her. She wears many hats that directly impact many within our school community. When looking at all 10 domains of school psychology practice, Dr. Schwartz is engaged in work that encompasses all of them. An area of work that sticks out to me is directly related to social emotional learning. She was a key figure in supporting others as we navigated safely through the challenges of COVID-19. In reopening our schools 2 years ago to in-person learning, we knew that there would be some children and adults with concerns about re-entering a school setting. Through consultation and collaboration with key stakeholders in the district, students, teachers, families, and administrators, Dr. Schwartz helped coordinate the formation of our school SEL committee. This committee is composed of various school personnel who are eager to support our school in enhancing the work we do regarding SEL, which is the social and emotional well-being of others. Through research of literature, collection of classroom behavioral data, and analysis of individual student strengths and needs, Dr. Schwartz led the creation of a monthly newsletter that included a variety of literature, videos, activities to support and strengthen the home-school partnership. In addition, she works with others to identify monthly events within the school that include different spirit days, in-class lessons, guest speakers, fundraisers, most recently for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, where we were the top school team as far as money raised, and much more. She is willing to go the extra mile to make others feel happy and appreciated, including being slimed by students. Dr. Schwartz utilizes our partnership with Northwell Health to connect families to mental health services. She takes the time to assess individual needs and make recommendations where appropriate to ensure positive outcomes that enhance mental and behavioral health. She is regularly observed having conversations with families, ensuring they're both comfortable and knowledgeable with the resources available to them. Dr. Schwartz works closely with teachers to implement practices that foster safe and supporting learning environments within the walls of the classroom. She spends time in classrooms observing students and sharing her observations with teachers, highlighting students' social practices and interests. Lastly, what makes Dr. Schwartz truly deserving of this honor tonight is not just what is listed above, but most importantly, it's what's in her heart. She definitely wears it on her sleeve. Dr. Schwartz recognized that while she can't fix every concern, especially in a matter of minutes or hours, she can make sure everyone she is in contact with feels comfortable in her presence. She has shown herself to be someone that can be trusted and follows up with different individuals to ensure that wheels are in motion regarding the plan of action in place. As I said before, and I'll say it again, Dr. Schwartz would be an appropriate choice, an amazing representative of the New York Association of School Psychologists, Chapter O School Psychologist of the Year. And so it brings me great pleasure to have two representatives from the New York Association of School Psychologists to share more.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone. It is a great pleasure to share this night with all of you here. My name is Colleen Scalero, and this is Annie Huang, and we are the New York Association of School Psychologists, and I'm currently the chapter representative for Nassau County and Annie Suffolk County. Each year, the New York Association of School Psychologists recognizes school psychologists all over the state for their successes, hard work, and service they provide to their communities. Tonight we are here to acknowledge Dr. Stacy Schwartz, as she is the School Psychologist of the Year for Nassau County. Who is Dr. Schwartz? Dr. Schwartz attended Cornell University, receiving a Bachelor's in Arts degree in English and Psychology. She then attended New York University and received a Master of Arts degree in School Psychology at the Graduate School of Education. She initially worked as a psychometrician, conducting psychological and neuropsychological assessments. She currently holds her doctorate in school psychology and has worked in many places, such as the League School in Brooklyn, New York. Dr. Schwartz has worked as a school psychologist in the Jericho School District for the past 25 years. There are many qualities that Dr. Stacy demonstrates as a school psychologist and as an individual. She demonstrates skills of compassion, intelligence, creativity, and is identified as someone that can be trusted within her community. When reading Dr. Schwartz's nominee statement, she talks about a case with a student she has worked with in her career. Reading from the beginning of her involvement with the student to end, Dr. Schwartz describes it in such great detail, it alludes to the feeling of compassion and patience that she exemplifies. And as a reader, it is easy to tell that Dr. Schwartz takes the time to truly get to know and understand every individual from within. From looking at all your faces today, I can see how much of an asset she is within your community. And with that, it is great honor that the New York Association of School Psychologists and Jericho School District awards Dr. Stacy Schwartz as the School Psychologist of the Year for Nassau County.
Thank you so much. I'd like to just add one thing, and just a plug for our NIASC organization. For those of you who are psychologists in this room, please consider joining NIASC. We are really hoping to revamp the support that we are providing our members. Our annual conference is happening in Saratoga Springs, New York, November 16th through the 18th. So if you could come, there's lots of great speakers. Really, this is a space where we could lean on each other and help each other out. I'm in this business because of all of you, parents, families, and my fellow colleagues. So thank you so much, everyone.
Just one more thing, and I just want to add, it's really special to have family here, and so acknowledging that moment is here's Stacy's family. And Stacy's dad. So you have a wonderful daughter, she brings the rights, and she's an amazing colleague here in the district. So kudos and congratulations on such a great job.
Thank you, Alex, so much. Thank you to NIASC. And I really, it's such an honor. I really appreciate this. And I couldn't do this job, at least I couldn't do it well, if it wasn't for the support of my administrators, the board, the superintendent, everybody, the families, and my wonderful colleagues. This district really puts mental health and the emotional well-being of kids as a priority, and that makes it just a great place to work. I'm very fortunate. Thank you.
Once a year, all school districts across New York State, all 725 school districts across the state of New York, take an opportunity in the month of October to recognize the boards of education that serve the students, the millions of students in the state of New York. They are volunteers who give up their time to support public education in the state of New York. Again, I think Jericho is one of the school districts that fully appreciates what's involved in being a Board of Education member. Again, the hours and hours not only the hours spent in meetings, but the hours spent in preparation for the meetings, the hours spent on research in terms of issues facing public education. And again, while we should be recognizing and thanking our Board of Education literally every month for their volunteerism, this is the evening where we say thank you, and in front of each board member is a little sign of appreciation for their volunteer work that they do each and every day, 365 days a year. I would also like to take this opportunity to introduce Alex one more time, who's representing our employee groups this evening.
I'd also like our Kunis from the JTA to join me, and Christine from the Triple Associates. Come on up. So October is a time for many things, including a change in weather, pumpkins, football, and of course recognition of our school board. This year, we once again would like to thank our board members for their ongoing commitment and service to the Jericho District and community. Tonight, we celebrate and honor our 5 board members before us for their commitment to children, to families, to teachers, and staff of our district. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." There is no stronger education than the one our students receive here in Jericho. While there are many people to thank for this, our Board of Education devotes countless hours to making sure our schools are helping every child learn at their highest level. They make tough decisions every month, spend many hours studying education issues and regulations in order to support public education in our community, and help foster a healthy culture in which to work and learn. Even though we make a special effort to show our appreciation in October, their contribution is a year-round commitment. Please join me in a round of applause for these members. Now, on behalf of the Jericho Teachers Association, the Jericho Curriculum Associates Association, the Civil Service Employees Association, Learning Center Instructors Association, and the Jericho Principals Association, we would like to thank you and recognize your contribution to the Jericho school community. In your honor, we will be awarding a scholarship to a graduating senior, which will be presented at Senior Awards Night in the spring. Once again, congratulations and thank you for all that you do for the community.
Thank you, Alex, and who gave us these presents, and we appreciate your appreciation. Now we will move to the reports. Middle School Student Council, Akshita Sharma.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Akshita Sharma. I'm a 7th grade student council representative for Jericho Middle School. It is a pleasure to be here this evening. What a wonderful 2023-24 school year opening so far. We had so much fun at the Homecoming Carnival on Friday, October 22nd. Great rides and awesome food. On Thursday, September 28th, we had a wonderful back-to-school night. Our parents had the opportunity to follow their child's schedule and meet the teachers. A special thank you goes to our student council representatives and 7th and 8th grade Brave Ambassadors for serving as tour guides for the parents who needed help navigating their way around the school. We also had the middle school yearbook portraits on September 28th to 29th. The middle school portrait retake is Friday, November 17th. Our SEL theme for October is courage. Courage can be defined as strength in mind to carry on in spite of difficulty, anger, as well as overcoming fear. And this is a wonderful segue to our 11th annual anti-bullying kickoff, scheduled for Thursday, October 19th. Our theme this year is Lead the Way. It is our hope that our upstanders will lead the way for others to be courageous, to stand up when they see injustice or unkindness. We are very excited to have Rohan Murphy, who will be returning as our keynote speaker. Rohan Murphy is a nationally recognized motivational speaker for youth. Despite losing his legs at birth, Rohan began his wrestling journey freshman year of high school and had a successful journey leading into college. Rohan is also an accomplished powerlifter, competing in international competitions all over the world representing the USA. We are looking forward to an exciting day. Our 8th grade students embarked on a journey to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., early this morning. They will be returning tomorrow evening. This 8th grade trip aligns with the New York State Social Studies framework. The itinerary included the following sites: the U.S. Capitol building, many of the national monuments and memorials, the National Museum of American History, and the National Museum of African American History Culture. It is an amazing trip. A special thank you to Dr. Sundberg and Mrs. Cantwell for coordinating this exciting trip, and to all of the staff who chaperoned this fun event. And at the end of this month, we are looking forward to our annual spelling bee on Friday, October 27th in the auditorium. Well, that's all for now. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everyone.
That was great, thank you. For High School Student Council, Mark Sheen and Natasha Kolbiak.
Good evening, Mr. Grishman, board members, administration, and the Jericho community. We're excited to be back in school and are looking forward to this year. My name is Mark Sheen.
And I'm Natasha Kobiwat. On September 22nd, we held our annual Homecoming Festival and Pep Rally. At the Pep Rally, students and sport teams had a really fun time being able to play games and participate in events. Congratulations to the cross country for their Pep Rally victory. Unfortunately, due to weather conditions, we had to cancel the Saturday Carnival, but we were able to extend the hours of the Friday Carnival. The event was a huge success, and Student Council was able to raise a lot of money. We also had our Friday night football game under the lights that night, and it was a great turnout with family and friends coming to support the team. Go Jayhawks! Thank you to the family and students who came out and supported the event.
On October 3rd, Mr. Verderber organized a very special assembly program featuring alumni Lindsay Kraft for our students interested in performing, composing, acting, and singing.
Throughout the month of October, our varsity teams will be participating in Play for Pink to support breast cancer research through the Morgan Foundation. T-shirts are for sale, and to help support this great cause, you may Venmo the @Morgan Foundation.
On October 6th, the World Language Honor Societies held their induction ceremonies for juniors. The advisors and presidents of each honor society introduced the 94 inductees, who recited a note and were all presented with certificates. Throughout the evening, each language honor society also had its own performance, ranging from comedic sketches to instrumental performances.
The high school had its annual blood drive this past Tuesday, October 10th, for the New York Blood Center, and we collected a total of 36 pens. A huge thank you to all the juniors, seniors, faculty members, and community members who donated.
In honor of the lives lost and those recovering from the Farmingdale bus accident, Jericho's Triumph Music Honor Society raised a total of nearly $1,000 selling various baked goods at the October 6th football game. All money raised will be going to the Farmingdale Music Department. The pep band students also wear green bead necklaces and bows to show their support. Thank you so much for all of your donations and your support for the Farmingdale community.
Looking forward, next Thursday, October 19th, is our first Wellness Day of the year. We are looking forward to the events and our guest speaker, David Heimowitz. Additionally, thank you to the PTA and the JEF for the wellness shirts. We highly encourage all staff and students to wear the provided shirts.
There will also be a fun Halloween spirit week leading up to Halloween. On Monday, October 30th, we'll have Minion Monday. Tuesday will be Trick or Treat Tuesday. Wednesday will be Onesie Wednesday. Thursday will be Throwback Thursday. And finally, Friday will be Fall Friday. On Tuesday, we'll also be having our annual costume contest. Students and faculty will be voting on which students and teachers have the best costume.
The Canon Future Authors Project Book Signing and Celebration will take place on Tuesday, October 24th, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the middle school high school lobby. As a reminder, the end of the first quarter is Friday, November 3rd. Students should make sure to check in with their teachers about any assignments before the end of the marking period.
Best of luck to those who took the SAT this past Saturday and to those taking the PSAT this Saturday, October 14th, and the ACT on Saturday, November 4th. As a reminder to all parents and students, the registration deadline for the December SAT is November 3rd. Be sure to sign up before it's too late.
JHS musicians are looking forward to the announcement of the All-County Festival selections in the upcoming week, and JHS art students have been invited to submit artwork for consideration in the 2023 Nassau County High School Student Juried Art Competition and exhibition by the Art Guild of Port Washington.
And Friday, October 20th will be the second annual piano showcase at 7 p.m. in the auditorium, featuring 10 soloists and 2 duets by students from grades 6 through 12. And get ready for another great Cookies and Canvas event hosted by the Art Honesty Society together with SEPTA on October 26th at 6 p.m. On behalf of the music department, the high school choral and orchestra concert will be on November 14th at 7:30 p.m. Everyone is invited to attend.
Thank you very much for your time, and on behalf of the students, happy Board of Education Month. We appreciate everything you do for the Jericho community, and we hope to see you next month.
And rumor has it that central office will be competing in the Halloween costume event. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to unfold as well.
PTA Council, Allison.
Good evening, Mr. Grishman, Board of Ed members, Central Administration, faculty, staff, and community members. My name is Allison Edelman. I'm the president of the Jericho Joint PTA Council. It's my pleasure to be here tonight. The Jericho Joint PTA Council had a great opportunity to meet face-to-face with our Board of Education this week. We discussed issues such as valedictorians, mandatory lunch, mess periods, student use of facilities, and more. We're very fortunate to have this open dialogue and direct communication with our board so that parents' concerns can be heard. If there's anything that you want addressed to the board, please know you can always contact your PTA president representative, and we'll be sure to get you the answers you are looking for. On September 18th, the school district hosted a welcome and information night for new families. Over 300 people attended. Representatives from each PTA as well as community groups were there to introduce themselves and answer any questions families had. Each PTA unit sold swag from their school buildings to promote school spirit and explain why PTA membership is the best way to be involved in your child's school and community. By getting involved at your child's school, you'll be a part of the solution, helping make positive changes. Back to school night at all schools in person was a big success. Meeting our teachers face-to-face in a safe environment was just what we all needed to start off the school year. Next Thursday, October 19th, we have 2 exciting events at the middle school and high school. The middle school will be having its annual Obeas Kickoff Day to promote anti-bullying. The high school is having its first Wellness Day of the year to promote wellness in the nest. There will be a series of talks for our students led by David Heimowitz on topics such as science of stress, coping with stress, why people self-medicate, and online gaming and gambling. We want to thank both PTSAs for helping provide t-shirts for all the middle school, high school staff and faculty for the day, as well as the JEF for donating to the high school t-shirts. On Tuesday, October 24th at 7 o'clock, we will be having our first of 2 parent universities of the year. We're very excited about our topics. There will be 4 workshops that include college and stress, sports journalism, Little Chefs for adults, and TV. It will be a really fun, interactive night for parents, and we hope everyone can attend. This week, as we all heard, is School Board Recognition Week. We would like to thank our school board members for all of their hard work and dedication. Your commitment to our children is unparalleled, and we are very grateful. People may forget that you are all volunteers that play a critical role in our school district. We all strive for the same goal. Jericho is the best school district, and we want to keep it that way. Every decision you make impacts the thousands of students who attend the Jericho School District. We know you don't take these decisions lightly, and we appreciate your dedication. Tonight, we have small tokens of appreciation from the PTA Council. Those are the ones on with the pink bows on top. That's from us. Thank you all again for all that you did, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. I have more items on my list than usual, but let me start with briefly talking about the recent events in the Middle East. The last 4 or 5 days, we have seen a series of horrific events where many innocent civilians have been caught in the middle of a horrific war. And again, it causes us great concern to see what is transpiring in the Middle East, and great level of concern in terms of the expansion of the number of civilians, innocent civilians, that are going to be impacted. Our concern from the Jericho School District, our #1 priority, as you've heard us say many, many times over the last several years, is the health and safety of our students and the health and safety of our staff. Our goal is to ensure that we protect and support our student body, whether we're talking about 5-year-old kids or 18-year-old kids, and to also support our staff. It again is a very challenging time for us, and again brings back some of the challenges that we have faced as a school community over the last 10 years. I am confident that based upon the history of this school district, our school district has been built on a prime philosophy of respect, of tolerance, and diversity. And the strength of our school district is based upon the diversity that exists in our school district. And we will keep that in the forefront of as we move forward. We obviously ask for your community support and understanding and sensitivity as our staff supports our kids in the coming days and what I fear might be the coming weeks and the coming months. With that, let me also again thank the Jericho staff, our PPS staff, our administrative staff, our teaching staff, who are well aware of some of the issues, many of the issues facing our students, and the incredible job they have done on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. And again, as I have thanked our staff as we went through the aftermath of September 11th, the 2 years of the pandemic, our staff was just absolutely incredible in ensuring the health and safety of our kids. And I am sure that as we go through the next days, potentially weeks, they will continue to do such. There has been several obnoxious, horrific posts on social media that have appeared over the last yesterday. And again, I just want to reassure our staff, I want to reassure our parents, and reassure our students. We are in touch literally throughout the day and throughout the night with the Nassau County Police Department and with Homeland Security. You've heard us talk about the relationship that we have with Pat Ryder, who has now been the police commissioner probably for 5, 6, 7 years. He holds the school districts in Nassau County in the highest regard and has protected us over, again, through pre-pandemic, pandemic, coming out of the pandemic, through terrorist threats that have taken place before. He is committed to the school districts that he will be in touch with us, as he has been, literally 24 hours a day, updating us on the intelligence that exists within the Nassau County Police Department, and again, working in parallel with Homeland Security. And again, as of our last update, which was about 5 o'clock this afternoon, both agencies are reporting to us that they are following up on all of the social media threats, all of the social media hype, all of the disgusting posts that are on social media, and they are reporting to us again late this afternoon that in their intelligence, there is no immediate threat to Nassau County, or to the school districts within Nassau County, or to the religious institutions in Nassau County. They have increased the overtime of the Nassau County Police Department and Homeland Security, and they are spending more time doing intelligence, and they're also doing more time spending time during the school day at school districts throughout Nassau County, and they're also planning to raise their profile at all religious institutions, especially synagogues in Nassau County. We will continue to do the best job we can in informing our public, our staff, and our students as we receive any updates. We will continue to monitor the situation and to make any decisions that we need to increase the safety of our students and the safety of our staff. Again, I anticipate a challenging time that I fear is not going to get easier in the next days and weeks. But I commit to you that the Jericho School District will keep our kids and keep our staff safe. From that message, I move to the message of congratulations this evening. We congratulated Stacy Schwartz, who again is in the forefront of the challenges we're facing, our school psychologists, our guidance counselors, our social workers in the incredible work. Stacy is a model that we can all look up to and congratulate her for being chosen as the school psychologist of the year. With that, our school district a week and a half ago was named by Niche Business Insiders as the #1 school district in the state of New York. Niche has, over the last 5, 6, 7 years, they have pointed out we have been the #1 school community in the United States. We've been, in the top 5 school districts in the United States. We have been #1, 2, 3 in the state of New York. And one of the things that I like to point out when we talk about Niche, there are many measures that come out every year. U.S. News and World Reports, Jay Matthews from the Washington Post. Most of the agencies that rate school districts do it on a small number of measures. Usually those measures are strictly and solely numbers of students who graduate, number of students who go to 4-year colleges, number of students who take AP courses. One of the things that I like about the Business Insiders and Niche is they probably have 20 or 25 variables that they measure. And some of those variables, which I appreciate, goes above and beyond just student achievement. It talks about job satisfaction of staff. How does staff feel about working in the Jericho School District? How does the community feel and support the school district? How many electives do we offer? How much co-curricular activities? How many interscholastic activities do we offer? So it's a much broader spectrum. There are many more variables that go into that award. So again, I always love to take the opportunity to say we really have achieved something when we are recognized by Business Insiders and by Niche. So congratulations to our parent community, congratulations to our staff, and a very special congratulations to our students who do an incredible job and make us all look so good. You guys do great work. So congratulations to all of us for being recognized by Niche this year. At our last meeting in September, the board accepted the resignation of one of our school district superstars. Kim Conger has announced that she will be leaving us to retire in June, and she wanted to make sure that we knew early in the process so that we could plan for a smooth transition, and we can ensure that our special education students would be well taken care of in a period of transition. And again, we so appreciate that Kim did that as early in the school year as possible, and will work with us in selecting a successor, in searching for a successor, and planning through the transition. Kim has been with us almost 30 years. She has spent her life, and literally she has spent her life servicing students in the Jericho School District with, again, whose car is the last car in that front circle at night? It's Kim's car. It's a Tesla, by the way, if you want to check out. Kim has a compassion and a care for our kids with special needs. The district has, over the 29 years that Kim has been with us, the philosophy of the district has greatly changed into a far more inclusive program, into a program where we're servicing many, many more kids in-house, effectively in-house. In the last several years, the numbers of kids with IEPs are graduating with diplomas, with Regents diplomas, with designations. Again, her leadership and what she has done to support our special ed kids, and very frankly, our general ed teachers and staff as well, is immeasurable. So I just wanted to take a moment or five this evening to ask Kim just to stand up and take our thanks. The Tesla is still in the front circle. Couple of other announcements. I think I'm supposed to do the enrollment report. Our enrollment as of October the 6th was 3,330 students. Basically, that's an increase of about 40 students from the same period last year. Again, if you look at the enrollment in Long Island, in school districts within Long Island, by and large, in the vast majority of districts, the enrollment trend is downward. There are a handful of districts that are looking at minimal increases in their student population, and I think over the last couple of years, and as we go into this year, again, our population is growing, and we are, again, at 3,330 students. We will continue, obviously, to monitor our enrollment growth. Ben coordinates the projections and helps us work with Victor in budgeting as we look at the years ahead and our ability to educate and accommodate 3,300 kids, 3,400 kids, 3,500 kids. Like to also mention that, again, some things wind up working out kind of out of left field. The school district, and I've worked with a person who supplies us with maps, and known him for 15 years. He was in to see me in the spring, and he said, I'd like you to meet my daughter. Okay, sure. She has access to state grants that will provide public entities with EV charging stations. So we've been working with her, MyCon has been working with her, and sometime through this year, we will have EV electric vehicle charging stations at each of our 3 elementary schools, middle school, and high school. So and again, at no cost to the school district, we will be installing the electric vehicle charging stations. And we look forward to that taking place very shortly. It does not take care of Teslas. It's non-Teslas, kid. Also wanted to mention that we have a food drive. Again, our school district does an incredible job in providing food to our families in our school district that are in need. And several times through the year, we do a food drive to collect food to support those families. Denise coordinates the activity. Margaret Aaron and Jill Citron are the prime deliverers of food, so we thank the three of them for their good work. But again, we will be advertising. Denise will be sending material out about the food drive on November 1st, and again, what we're looking for in that food drive. Good.
Something went out, another reminder will go out just before.
Okay, so another reminder will be coming out before November 1st, and that seems so far away, but it's not. Originally on the agenda, we had a couple of update issues that we wanted to talk about. We originally had talked about an update for the community on recertification, then talked briefly, I think, about it at our last meeting, and I just wanted to, again, take this opportunity to say that our recertification process is complete. We have recertified all of the students and families in the specified grades that we looked at, and now, up to the Board of Education to share with us how they would like us to proceed. Again, it was a comprehensive first crack at recertification. It took a great deal of time to set up a process. Some of the positive, again, we were looking to see if we had students who did not belong here. At this point, we did not find any students, but one of the positive offshoots is we looked at digitizing some of our student records, which again is a major plus for us in looking at health records, et cetera, that are now in digitized form, following our students through the school. We also had talked about an update on security, and again, we talked about security through the spring and summer. Each year, we invest significant sums of money to upgrade the security that exists in our school district and within the infrastructure of our school district and within the support of our school district. Again, much of that work we credit to Mike Kahn and Victor Manuel for coordinating our upgrades. Again, some examples I'm comfortable talking about, some examples are best kept within central office. But one of the upgrades that we worked on through the spring and summer is all of our cameras have been upgraded within the school district. Any analog cameras have been replaced with digital cameras. Older digital cameras that did not have Zoom capability have all been replaced. Again, I believe we now have 100% coverage of all internal spaces within the school district, with the exception locker room, bathroom, and teacher classrooms. So in terms of increased security and surveillance, that is one of the major pluses. The district also made the decision, and we were really pleased. We hired John Gordon, who had been with us for a number of years, working through Allied. We hired him as our Director of Security, and John has taken over the role of our overall security within the school district, within all the buildings. And then at our last meeting, I'm really thrilled to report that we also brought Julius over from working for Allied. He is now walking around very proudly wearing his Jericho t-shirt. Julius, I think, probably is the singular most popular staff member in the Jericho School District. So we are really thrilled to have John leading the security charge and Julius as his sidekick. So all good news. Victor, there was a question that Sam asked about assessed value. We good? This is definitely the boring part of the evening. As everyone knows, the tax bills went out a couple of weeks ago. We received the assessments towards the end of September. And I was happy to report, which was an email I sent to the Board of Education, and I'll explain why it's good news. Tax rate slightly lowered by 0.72%. So even though the tax levy increased by 2.77, this year the tax rate itself decreased by a little under 1%. And the reason that's positive is there were years where we had 0 tax levy increases, where we had 1% tax levy increases, and in those years the tax rate actually increased 5%, 8%, and in fact one year was 135%.
when the county redid the assessments. I think that was about 3 or 4 years ago. In those years, there was a lot of winners and losers as far as individual taxpayers. There were many taxpayers that received 20-25% reductions in their tax bills. There were others that received 20-25-30% increases. And volume-wise, dozens of calls. Obviously, if someone receives a 25-30% increase, we're going to get a call. It's a little more stable this year and last year. The volume of those disparities have decreased, and the volume of those really significant spikes have decreased. There are certainly still situations where some people's taxes may have gone up minimally or zero, and in other situations where they've gone up 5 or 10%. So far I got about 2 or 3 calls in the last 2 weeks, which are in and of itself a significantly lower amount than prior years at this time. The county continues to move some of the burden from class 4, which is commercial, over to class 1, which is residential. And there's another reason why where you see some of the taxpayers seeing more of an increase than the 2.7% increase. As far as the grievances, they have lowered also as compared to prior years when the county reassessed all of the residential properties. So when you don't have as many grievances and residential properties winning grievances, you're not going to see the more significant spikes of property owners, again, seeing significant increases versus property owners seeing decreases. So there was a little more stability, and that was kind of the good news that we saw.
Thank you, Victor. Well, Sam, did that answer your question?
Sure.
The board, in looking at conversations that we had last year, as we completed the discussion and decision on weighting in the high school, the board decided that we would continue discussions in this coming year on valedictorian and salutatorian and how the valedictorian is selected in Jericho. So we put it on the agenda this evening to, again, I expect to open a conversation that will take place over potentially many months, looking at valedictorian, salutatorian in Jericho. We are aware, and again, I think one of the things that I've heard from the board is we're eager to hear from our students, from our parents, from our staff, how they feel about how our current system is and what other systems are out there in Nassau County or in Long Island. So I've asked Greg, and I think Greg has kind of shared this with us before, but I asked Greg if he would share with us this evening, number one, a brief explanation of how the valedictorian is selected in the Jericho School District, to explain to us a little bit about what industry standard is in Nassau County, and again, for us to take that information and then look toward future conversations at upcoming board meetings, receiving feedback from staff, from parents, and from students. Greg, I always, and again, we have called on you a lot in the last year as we had our many conversations around weighting and many conversations leading into tonight's conversation. And I always appreciate your expertise and your willingness to enlighten us.
Absolutely. It's okay if I speak from here?
Sure.
So, once upon a time, all students were ranked. This is, does anybody hear you? You don't think so?
I don't know, I'm asking the sound guy.
All right, so I'll speak from here then. So, that's a little weird, right? You know, with my back. So, once upon a time, all students were ranked in schools. So, the valedictorian was the one with the highest GPA, and if there's 300 kids in the class, there was somebody who was also ranked number 300. That practice actually still takes place in very few schools in the district, but Jericho got rid of that policy in 1989. So actually a long time ago. So at that time,
I was ranked in 1989.
1989, right? You're the graduating class of rank. So in the 89-90 school year, rank was eliminated. The practice of naming a valedictorian and salutatorian took place before 1989 and has continued to this day, so that practice did not change. But also, prior to that 89-90 school year, there was no weighting of classes at all, which was also something that has progressively happened throughout the country and certainly now is common practice. So we continue the same practice for selecting valedictorian, salutatorian, as I believe the school district has always, before and after ranking. So technically, we are ranking kids still, right? Just 2 or 15, as that might be. So, and that is based on students' unweighted GPA. So we do have a weighting system. We have a new weighting system this year, as everybody is probably aware. Our revised weighting system from 1989, and after that ended at the end of this past school year. All of our current students in the high school and any students taking high school level classes now are under our new weighting system. But our selection of the Val-Sal continues to be with the unweighted GPA. So what that's looked like, at least for the past many years, is that any graduating senior or any junior that ends junior year with having earned all A+ as a final end of the year average in their class, regardless of the rigor of the classes, whether there was all Regents classes, whether it was all AP classes, if they earned an A+ at the end of those classes and come into senior year with a 4.0 cumulative unweighted GPA, those are the students that we look at as potential candidates for valedictorian or salutatorian. We then look again at those students' grades at the end of the second quarter of their senior year. So now they've finished a 7th semester in Jericho, and we look to see what their quarter 1 and quarter 2 averages are, recalculate those averages to see what their end of the year average would be based on those 2 quarters. And if those students, if we have many students that have a 4.0 going in, then the students that continue to wind up having a 4.0 or an A+ average after 2 quarters of senior year are the students that we've named as valedictorian. So with that in mind, I did a survey of all school districts in Suffolk and Nassau counties, just to kind of, I had an idea of what it would probably be, but I just asked them basically, what is your criteria for selecting Val-Sal? So I basically had 3 different responses. Either district did not select the Val-Sal at all and chose class speakers via students submitting essays and they're selected as a class speaker. That's only a few districts, by the way. And then a few districts, including us, that base the Val-Sal on unweighted GPA. So not taking into consideration strength of curriculum or rigor. And then pretty much everybody else. And that's by the way, only a couple of districts too. So I'm talking about 3 districts that don't pick a Val-Sal, and I'm talking about 3 districts that base the Val-Sal on unweighted GPA, and all of the districts base the Val-Sal on the weighted GPA, which is really meant to take rigor into consideration. It also allows students that may have not gotten an A+ for an end of the year average every single year the opportunity to potentially still be valedictorian because maybe they're taking a more demanding class load that, So that's basically all that's behind it. Nothing else is really new or different, but that's it.
Thank you, Greg. And again, I think the discussions that have taken place, okay, we've opened up the discussion, and now let's have the board have an opportunity to ask questions, have an opportunity for the board to hear from all of our key component groups what their thoughts are and what their recommendations are. And again, plan to put this item on our agenda several times through the coming year.
We have a student board rep, and we asked her to do a survey among the students, because I think that's probably one of the most important opinions that we would like to include. But we also welcome parents and teachers to give their opinions, and so if anyone, you could always send an email to BOE at Jericho schools or speak up at a meeting, but we welcome everyone's opinion on this.
Our understanding is that our board rep is already working on constructing a questionnaire for our student body. So, you know, we look forward to see that unfold and the results that we hear from our students.
And she'll be here in November, just as a plug with the results.
So our board rep is at the board table in November, so we can have an opportunity to ask her where she is in the process, in the questionnaire process. Thanks, Denise.
Is that the end of the superintendent's report? Any
That is-
questions?
That is good.
Oh,
No, I'm leaving for a personal matter, I apologize if the one I can't take it.
First thing is, as Mrs. Edelman pointed out at our meeting last night, part of it was school, use of school facilities. And can you just briefly tell the community what you told us about the use of elementary school playgrounds on the weekends?
This has been an area of concern for many, many years. It is our belief that our elementary playgrounds should be open on the weekends and during holiday periods. We find by feedback we've heard from parents that is inconsistent. Some playgrounds are open, sometimes they are left locked. So Victor and I are working with our buildings and grounds and security staff to ensure that we are more consistent in ensuring that our playgrounds are open for community use on weekends and on vacation periods.
And so feel free, if you show up and it's not, feel free to email the superintendent, or always the board is happy to hear it. Just tell us when, where, and which playground it was that was not open.
And our preference would be to email the board, please.
Second point, I'm behind the times. I just finally got to the Jericho Syosset newspaper from last week. Can you just give an update on the school safety arms or cameras on the buses that, I apologize, I felt like 3 months ago these were going to be running for this year, but it seems like it's not running in town of Oyster Bay.
So the stop-arm cameras were approved and ready to go a year ago, last spring. Suffolk County, as a county, adopted the memorandums of understanding with the school districts and started to put the stop-arm cameras in place last summer. Nassau County decided that they did not want to take on the stop-arm cameras as a county, and they passed the ball to the towns in Nassau County. So each town was charged with developing a plan for implementation and developing a series of MOUs with the school districts. Last summer, again, a year ago, summer of '22, all of the Jericho-owned buses had the stop-arm cameras installed. Again, if you look at the sides of our bus, it's a relatively small box, halfway up the side of the bus, which records a car passing when the red lights are flashing. We obviously are strongly in favor of the stop-arm cameras providing additional safety to our students who ride buses. So what has happened in the town of Oyster Bay, the town of Hempstead has moved ahead aggressively. The town of Oyster Bay has approved the stop-arm cameras now 13, 14 months later. And we are told in conversations that we've had with the town 2 weeks ago that they're in the process of sending out the MOUs to the school districts. We still have not, Sam, we still have not received those MOUs, but we are told that the town is hoping that we'll be up and running sometime this winter, December, January, February. We are eager for, we have it on our buses, we have it on our first student buses. We're eager for that additional safety measure for our students.
Thank you. Just because Mr. Manuel talked about the tax base and he talked about our increase in students, I believe most of the students that increased year over year are actually part of our augmented pre-K program, where most of that money, I think, comes from state. So I think of the 40 increased students, 34 of them were pre-K year over year. So we really still have the same number of dollars per student, no?
I believe so.
Great.
Yeah, the pre-K monies,
No, is the pre-K
included in
Yeah,
see.
I did the adding. It seemed like the 3330 included the 90 pre-K students versus 56.
Yeah.
I checked it while you were doing it,
And
that's why.
it's funded, again, just to repeat, it's funded $5,400 per student, and we're charged $5,800 per student. So there will be a $40,000 general fund expenditure.
Right, but most of it is still covered, so we're still getting the same bang for our buck per student, or not bang for, still same amount of money per student this year.
Last year, it was fully funded, it was $5,400, and we were billed $5,400. This year, it'll be close to, I think, a $30,000 expenditure.
Great. Last night, the other thing we talked about, and Mr. Superintendent, ties into one of the things you talked about earlier about what's going on in the world. We had talked about our zero tolerance policy with regards to comments, bullying, discriminatory things. Can you just briefly just tell the community what that means and how we treat that?
Again, this is not a new conversation, nor a newly adopted policy. The district has long adopted a zero tolerance policy in dealing with religious, racial, ethnic, gender issues within our school district. We take a very hard line on, again, ensuring that our kids are safe, and therefore ensuring that any violations of those issues are dealt with quickly, efficiently, and meaningfully, both in terms of within a discipline format, but also within a restorative format.
Two thank yous from my standpoint. One, as the superintendent talked about with our recertification process, and especially the digitization of our files, I think Dr. Chufo and Dr. Prizanzano deserve just our overwhelming thanks for the amount of time, effort, and headaches that they endured for part of that. And then finally, as the superintendent earlier mentioned, Niche gave us this great ranking. Yes, it's based on a lot of different criteria. From my mind and in my 13 years in the district, the most important criteria is our teachers. Our teachers, for reasons that I really can't understand, don't get as much love from Niche as our school district does, but I think they deserve as much, if not more, than the school district as a whole. So Mr. Regerba, on behalf of me, and they don't like when I speak on behalf of the board, thank you for everything that your membership does to get us that #1 ranking.
We're going to move to the opportunity for the public to be heard. If you'd like to make a comment or question, please tell us your name and affiliation if you're representing a specific group. If you'd like your statement to be included in our board minutes, you must hand a written or email a copy of your remarks to Victor immediately before speaking. And as always, public discussion on matters relating to staff and students at which their reputation, privacy, or right to due process, or those of others in some way could in some way be violated is prohibited. So if you want to speak, come up to the microphone.
Good evening, everyone. And I apologize if my voice is shaking a little bit. I speak to everyone in this room all the time, but when you're standing up for something and in this situation, it's a little bit different. My name is Denise Nash. I'm the Director of Public Relations for the Jericho School District. I have a question about a recent report that I was able to foil regarding an investigation. The report states that there are certain recommendations that the board should take action on. I will leave out names, but I will read from the report. Quote, "My investigation did reveal certain occasions where this individual has raised his voice or yelled at individuals while expressing frustration. As the action of yelling or raising one's voice in the workplace constitutes inappropriate behavior, and the person he did this to is a district employee, this behavior should be addressed." End quote. Although many recommendations were made in the report, One said, and I quote, "The board may wish to consider recommending that this individual participate in professional development with respect to managing anger and frustration." End quote. I am asking how the board plans on addressing this inappropriate behavior. And for anyone here or watching that doesn't know what I'm referring to, you can submit a FOIL request to Victor Manuel, the district clerk, and you can request the investigative report referenced in the August 25th, 2023 Board of Education meeting. Thank you.
Chris, I'm gonna pass that along to you to answer
Sure.
that.
So the Board of Education is in receipt of the report. It would be my recommendation, for the board to convene to review the report and then to take appropriate action. If there is action that's taken on this, it will be public action. Obviously, that the board is still deliberating on this matter. You should not make any kind of announcement concerning that today, Madam President. However, once the board has concluded, made a decision as to what's going to happen, then official board action could be taken at that point. If the board is going to be taking any action, it should be in public.
Hi, my name is Ira Chekla. I too was able to read this report under the Freedom of Information Act. Based upon the investigators' association with a particular law firm, and after researching our warrants and checks over the past 10 months, I assume that the $40,000 plus expenditures to that particular law firm was for this particular investigation. I would urge the board to spend $40,000 much more wisely. The results of the report speak for themselves. Again, my advice, having sat in the same seats as the five of you, would probably better been served by sitting the five of you in the room with a particular complainant and resolving this without the need for lawyers. I understand now there are new lawyers, and I understand that there are new lawyers on top of new lawyers. Again, I urge you to spend your money much more wisely.
Anyone else?
I would encourage anyone who wants to follow that report and has any questions, direct your questions to the board.
Did any emails come in? No emails come in, okay. Thank you. Now to the business portion. Approval of minutes recommended. Motion be it resolved that the Board of Education make any necessary corrections and move the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting dated September 21st, 2023, and the special meeting dated October 4th, 2023. Do I have a motion? Chris, second. Divya, any discussion? All in favor? Budget prep calendar for 24-25 school year and 23-24 annual election calendar for the May 21st, 2024 vote. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve the attached 2023 budget prep calendar for the 24-25 school year and the 23-24 annual election calendar for the May 21st, 2024 annual election budget vote. Do I have a motion? Divya, second. Chris, any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accept a donation of $5,000 from Foundation for a Better Life Corp., who respectfully requests that funds be used for any event, equipment, supplies that the Jericho School District deems necessary. Do I have a motion? Divya, second. Chris? Any discussion? I just would like to know what this entity is and what's the story behind it.
I can do that. I've done that research, Mrs. Citron. Basically, the Foundation for a Better Life Corp., from the best I could do over the last few days, it was founded in around 2000 and is funded by the I don't know how to pronounce it, ANSHUTZ Anschauss family. They're a billionaire family that has made money in a variety of ways over the last probably 50 to 100 years. They do not fundraise. This foundation is purely funded by that family. And the mission basically is to focus on others to do good by promoting positive values. They do a lot of inspirational signs. They, for full disclosure, have had a couple of, at times, controversial political stances, but that is not a key part of what they do. Again, I just Googled them, and that's what I came out for Foundation for a Better Life. The Anschauss family's been around for a long time. Respectable family, they fund the whole thing. And it seems like they didn't really put any limitations on what we can do with this money.
Have they donated to us before?
I believe this is the first time.
And did it come from a connection that anyone had, or?
I know there was communication with David Cohen, high school principal.
I apologize, Mr. Cohen, if you know more about it than I do. We'd love to hear.
All I can share is that I had outreach from a member of the community asking to be able to make a donation to the school district. So in discussions with Mr. Manuel, I was able to pass along the process. And then the community member came forward and made a donation. So it wasn't with any discussion of specificity in terms of specific asks or anything from that regard.
I said they seem to make a lot of donations. It's a private foundation, and they seem like, in general, they have everyone's best interest at heart.
Thank you.
Looks like they've given just shy of 11,000 grants since 1982 to the tune of $63 million. So, great job.
Do we think they have a history of giving the public school districts?
My research did not go that deep. I apologize. Only it was a 20-minute Google.
Whoever has a connection to them, thank you, and all in favor?
Thank you.
And you have to pass along our thanks, whoever has a connection. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the appointment of John Bianchi, MD, at this position for the 2023-2024 school year. Do I have a motion? Divya, second. Chris, discussion?
How does, oh, go ahead, Doctor.
I just wanted to know, was this our district physician, or is this a new appointment to another role, or is this through the Mount Sinai agreement?
A new physician in the group that covers our football games.
So it's a physician, not the physician. He's one of the physicians
Yes.
that we, okay.
Yes.
So it's an additional physician.
Yeah, they couldn't cover, they had someone else in the practice that would do it, so we had to get board approval.
Gotcha, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Approval of schedules. Do I have a motion to approve schedules ID 1384 through U 359? Motion, anyone? Divya, second. Chris, any discussion?
Just one question for Mr. Manuel on schedule P107, the transportation request. Is there a cost to the district for that? It seemed like in the write-up it said it was a new resident and it just moved here. I forget which school they were going to.
Lorianne, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's a new resident that moves in, they're entitled to to private school transportation, whether it costs or whether it doesn't cost.
Yes, as long as they show registration within the first 30 days.
Right.
So there probably is a cost, but it doesn't matter because if they move in, they're entitled to it.
That's correct. Lorianne, do you know off the top of your head if this was attached to a line bus already?
And is the name of the family in here? I didn't know.
Definitely not. No. It's simply the school. I didn't print out
Does it
that
say
page.
school? What school?
I didn't print up that page. I
Okay.
usually put it in my notes. I didn't write it. I apologize.
I want to say this one was not. I feel like I remember which school it is.
Okay.
We've had several.
Okay. But by law, we have to do it. So it's,
By law, yeah.
okay.
Person
Thank
new resident.
you.
But that April deadline does not apply since they just moved newly into the district.
Correct.
Great. Any other questions? All in favor?
you. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Chris, second Vivian. Stephanie, all in favor? Thank you. Thank you for coming to our October meeting.